Alrighty, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to begin a brand new campaign. Tales from the Yawning Portal, Dragon Mountain, with a few brand new people to GeoQuester Gaming. So hello everybody, and welcome, and hello to my players. Welcome to my table.
Woo!
I think they're they're just all a little shy at the moment. They're not used to all of you goofballs out there. Now, first off, for my chat, just as a reminder, since this is considered to be a regular campaign, not a one-shot, most everything that is in the stream store at the moment, until the players tell me otherwise, you can't utilize any of the stream XP stuff. So there's no buying mimics, there's no giving the bad guys advantage, there's no crit ones on the player's death saves, there's none of the rest of that stuff. So there is no helping or hindering the party unless my players say after the game today that they want your help or hindrances. Because, yeah, you guys would kill them probably while they spoke to somebody in a tavern with something random. And I really would not like them all to die in the first game session. So, but before we get started, I'm going to allow the players to introduce themselves, introduce their characters a little bit, and then we shall start getting ourselves into it. As those of you who are watching right now can see, there is a player 2 with a question mark. Unfortunately, we had 4 winners from the Fantasy Grounds College that had 1 spots for this table. However, one of those players let me know last night that he misread how things were done, and he had to pull from the game. He thought it was at 10 p.m., not at 10 a.m., so which definitely did not fit into his work schedule at all. So after today's episode, we will have a posted in the LFG channel in my Discord. Anybody who has not played in one of my campaigns before, Delver Society does not count. Anybody who has not played in one of my campaigns before will be able to take this 4th spot. So we will post that later on today. Our episode today will be about 3 hours in length, and we will be taking a break about an hour and a half or so into it. So without further ado, let us go through and have our players introduce their characters. And I would like to start with Alex. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little about yourself and about your character? Is she able to hear us yet? Uh-oh. Not boding well. Her computer already lost connection. All right, so why don't we go with Bond Boy? Why don't you go ahead and tell us about your character? I know you're here.
Yep. Okay. Agluis Blackflame is his name. He's a gnome, deep gnome, sage, evocation wizard. He is a gnome that has grown up in deep territory. I forget the name already. Blinging
Stone.
Yeah, Blinging Stone. It's hard to pronounce. And he used to live in a farm area outside of a village, outside of Stone, and he just didn't want to do farming. He felt he didn't want to do farming, and he went walking around in a swamp area one day and found a hut with someone's, and learned a bunch of things about weird funguses and teas and even wizarding spells, and even adapted an affliction or a wanting for a wand collection.
Very cool.
He's kind of in the middle of chaotic evil and lawful evil.
All right, so he's floating around in there somewhere, depending on his state of mind, whether or not he's had his fungus squeezings for the day or not, huh?
Or if he sees a wand that's shiny enough, he'll change too.
Very good. All right, why don't we go with Zoo? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your character, sir?
Greetings, me and Boden. Some call me a celestial knight, but I make no such claims. I am a simple half-orc, who used to be a farmer before I followed my calling of protecting those in need. But the world has changed and no longer is protecting the weak done on the battlefield, and instead is done in courthouses. My skills are not wanted there. So now I decided to come and find those who would go on these grand adventures, potentially throwing their life away, and protect them. So I am Boden. Stick by me, and I shall protect you.
Sweet. Very cool, very cool. And tell us a little bit about yourself too, Zoo.
I am Zoo. I am new to Fantasy Grounds and playing online. I've been a long time D&D player and Dungeon Master, and looking forward to getting into online. And thank you for inviting me to your table.
Not a problem. Don't mind me, I'm eating Skittles. Okay, now I know that Alex is having a few technical difficulties, and she is rebooting at the moment. So let me introduce the NPC healer. His name is Taharan. He is a very studious looking elf, sun elf. He is a devotee of Lathander, the Morning Lord. He wears at his hip a beautiful looking longsword. He always has it on him. He does not wear armor, nor does he wear robes. He wears typical like traveling gear. He has a couple of beautiful bracers on that are done in a flame motif. And even though he looks like he's a high and mighty and haughty styled elf, he has a lot of charisma, and he has fit in with the others that are around him, namely the people who are within the Yawning portal. Over the last few weeks, this kind of brings us in to a little bit of the yes, the cleric spot is technically open for those of you who are in chat, because if I don't have to play an NPC healer, I would be more than happy to hand that over to a player. They can go ahead and play that. Like the rest of the player characters, they never really knew each other before this, as Waterdeep emptied of all the adventurers because they had gone to one location or another. Port Naranzaru down in Chult had opened up, and like a drove, these adventurers left Waterdeep to go down to the jungles of Chult to go hunt fame, fortune, and glory. Being smarter than the average adventurer and, well, more experienced, the 4 players who were here, you stayed behind, because obviously with all the adventurers leaving, there's going to be more jobs. Well, unfortunately, the jobs began to dry out as the weather began to turn nasty along the Sword Coast. You see, during the winter months, there's only 3 different kinds of weather during the winter months. There is ice, there is rain, or there is giant balls of slush that fall from the sky. Over the last few weeks, slush has been falling out of the sky. It's kind of like a half-melted snow cone that just drops onto the pavement. It's cold, it's wet, it soaks into your bones. It's depressing. The only thing that you've been able to do so far to kind of keep your spirits higher is go to the Yawning portal. The Yawning portal Inn and Tavern has always been a haven for adventurers, a place where they can go and find jobs and meet new people and possibly even go delve into the grand depths of the Undermountain itself. However, over the last few weeks, even Undermountain is closed. The Yawning portal gets its name from a ginormous well right in the middle of the bar. Well, at the moment, it's boarded up. and on it, it says closed for maintenance. So, unfortunately, even Undermountain has been snatched away from those of you who are bored and running out of money. Our wizard here, he unfortunately had a large wand collection that was stolen at one point in time. He's down to his last few gold pieces in his hand. Boden, though a noble man, down to his last few gold. Even Ariki, who is Alex's character, she even hasn't been able to find jobs or mercenary work because during this time of year, the armies just don't fight each other. So everybody is down on their luck. Very few adventurers come into the Yawning Portal anymore, and the four of you have begun to gravitate towards the same table. You never really got to adventure with each other before. You've told each other your war stories, your adventure stories in the past. However, now you sit sullenly as you look into some watered-down wine or tea and realize that maybe in a week you're going to be destitute and out on the street and possibly even robbing people for your next bread. Desperate for a job, you can hear an old man walking around the bar, as he has been for weeks and weeks and weeks, offering payment. It's a pittance. It's only 50 gold pieces a person. Offering a pittance if somebody would be kind enough to bring him back home. Alex is loading in. She got her computer rebooted, so we'll give her kind of a moment here. Also gives me a moment to finish chomping on my... Yes, I can hear you. Hello, dear.
Hello, all.
Excellent. So, Alex, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your character and yourself as you're getting yourself loaded in and everything. And I can finish eating my mouthful of Skittles that I just had for that entire introduction.
Okay. Well, I'm Alex, and I've been playing D&D for a while. I'm quite the nerd. And Ariki is, she's a wood elf, and she prefers to work from the shadows and far enough back that there's no way you can actually see her until she shoots you. She's a career soldier, currently exiled from her clan. She's not sure why, but that's the way it is. And Ariki is a nickname that she earned while adventuring, because it means something along the lines of silent shadow. And so that is now the name she uses.
Excellent. Very good. All right, so now we've had all of our introductions. We've gotten all these people up out of the way. Let's go ahead. Now, let me reshare the map. All right, let's see if I crash Alex again. And we're going to share a map. Have a little bit of a graphic for you. Let me know, Alex, when you get it. I know that your internet access is a little spotty.
Oh, sorry. Push to talk. It's here. I can see it.
Okay, good. All right. So, you are down in Waterdeep. You'll see on this map that there's a little P. That means party. You are down there. An old man, probably in his 60s or 70s, and he's a human, comes over to your table like he has for the last few days. He's been in the Yawning Portal now pretty much every day for the last 8 or 9 days, easily. And he comes over to your table, and he asks, "Pardon me, adventurers. Are you interested in a story?"
Stories are always best shared.
I agree. Well, friends, I have many stories. I once was a bard. Back, well before the spell plague. And I know many stories of many magics and treasures that have yet to be found. However, my cost for telling you these stories would be a small favor. Do you think you could help an old man with this favor?
I just shrug and nod.
Well, good. Very good. You see, I need to go home. Back to Harker's Ferry. It's a few days' ride up the long road past Umphale. And, well, I'm too old to make the trip myself in this weather. So, I really could use some strong backs to help me along my way. When we get there, I will not only reward you with a story that, well, may lead to some extra gold in your pockets, I will also pay each of you 50 gold pieces. What do you say to this?
Do you have any provisions or travel expenses that you've already procured?
For myself, yes. Do you need something? I could probably provide at least a few days' worth of food for each of you.
Checking his pack, Boden kind of starts nodding.
I think I would be amenable to this.
Very good. Very, very good. He smiles broadly. Agluis, do you have anything you want to add to this conversation, or are you just sitting there staring at your very weak, crappy tea?
I am, and I'm contemplating whether or not there would be some wands on our journey.
Well, the story that I will tell you will definitely send you on the right path to possibly finding magic. I don't know.
Okay, you're twisted my arm.
He smiles and he claps all of you on the back. He looks over at Dernan the Seventh, who is the proprietor of the Yawning portal, and says, "Oh, young Dernan, lad, could you serve my friends here another round of your best, and some spiced potatoes and meat? They look like they're about to die of the cold. Just give them something good. They need some hearty food before we go out on the road." So, after he gets done ordering, he turns and he looks at all of you and says, "So, before we leave and while we sup, would any of you like to tell me a story? I like to collect stories." I can just see the look on all the characters right now as they look at this old man who's kind of gregarious for the season. They just stare at him like, he just bought us food, now he wants us to tell him something? What?
That seems like something better fit for the road.
We could do that on the road. How long do you think it would take you to get to your horses? You're 10th level after all, so I'm assuming all of you have a horse. Because we can leave as soon as you're done supping. Silence.
Good plan.
Excellent. So, shortly thereafter, food does come out. Taharan does speak quietly with this old man. And after a little bit, you guys are done, your bellies are full, you're feeling warm, hearty, and even a little happy for the first time in weeks of being unemployed. The prospect, even in such a crappy day as today, of maybe going out and finding a new fortune, is really lifted all of your spirits. Possibly it could have been the wine and drinks and teas that Durnan served you, which were not watered down since the old man paid for them. But for the most part, your spirits are lifted. And as the old man kind of hobbles towards the front door and opens it up, the outdoors are bright and sunny for the first time in weeks. And this bodes well. A nice journey ahead of you. So, I would like each of you in turn, and I will start with, let's see, I will get everybody's characters' names down here eventually. I will start with Ariki. Please roll me a percentile dice for your first day of travel. This will be from Waterdeep to Omphale, on whether or not you end up with a random encounter. A 68. Nope. There is definitely no encounter on your first day from Omphale. Or to Omphale. So, if any of you are looking at the map, you can zoom in. You'll see that you are in Omphale. You get to bed down for the first night in a nice warm bed at a little travel coach inn along the side of the long road as you travel north. You'll be heading towards that H that's up there. That's Harker's Ferry. Let me go with Boden next. Boden, can you please roll me percentile dice for your second day? A 51. That's not too bad. But which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know how to roll percentile dice, if you put your mouse over the D10, right-click on it, you will see a percentile sign pop up. You can go ahead and use that and then just drag and drop it right into the chat. And it'll throw a number of some kind. Ooh, you're lucky I didn't have my number, because that would have been a cool thing. But as you move along, Boden, on the second day, you'll get to about here. A large hill is to your east. And as evening approaches, the old man, he does indeed break out some more food for you. And breaks out lots and lots of things. Not just hardtack or anything like that, but he brings out cheeses and smoked meats and other wonderful foods as you bed down for the night. However, because of your roll, during the night, the wind picks up and it gets very cold. There is no snow, there is no rain, there is no sleet this time. However, the wind is biting and cold. Thankfully, the wonderful gnome seems to know his way around a campfire. And he was able to stoke it nice and high, so all of you are able to sleep close to the fire and stay relatively warm and safe on the second night. And finally, we'll go with Agluis. You go ahead and roll me percentile dice for the third day as we pull into Harker's Ferry. The third day goes by. It's a dreary day, and the party moves off the long road and towards Harker's Ferry. Harker's Ferry is a few miles off the long road to the west, and starts heading off more towards the Swords Mountains over in that direction. Now, what our kind bard does is he leads you to a place called the Spawning Trout inside Harker's Ferry. I'm going to share this map with all of you. It'll load relatively quick. It's a small little black and white map from the original adventure module. The Spawning Trout is the D on the map there. He leads you there. Now, The Spawning Trout is a good-sized tavern, and things seem to be relatively quiet when you pull in. It's about lunchtime. The old man, Frederick, he pays all of you your 50 gold pieces and says, "I owe you a story now, don't I?" He goes over and he sits by the fire, shaking off his boots and shaking off his cloak and stretching his old bones as he sits down in a very large, comfortable chair. And it's as if the light from the fire catches his eyes as he looks up at you, and his eyes seem to dance and sparkle. And all of you are almost mesmerized by watching a master bard begin to tell a story. Now, you see, this town gets its name from the founder, a man named Harker. He originally set up his ferry here due to it being a strategic location for movement of goods across the continent. For many years, this town flourished. Trade came from across the land, as this was the best place to traverse this area. One day, a filthy, decrepit old man came up to the ferry and requested a ride across. When he informed them he had no money, he was refused. He asked again, mentioning that he was poor. He was refused again. Harker heard the commotion and came outside to deal with the matter. The old man again requested privilege to cross. Harker refused, stating, "We don't need your kind here, old man. Go back to where you come from." At that moment, the old man threw off his rags and revealed himself as a sorcerer. "I am Morton, and you will grant me passage." Harker was astonished and instantly acquiesced. "Of course, mighty sir. Please step aboard with my compliments." Morton stopped. "You did not ask me to pay your fare, ferryman." No, sir. Not of one of mighty as you," Harker said, lowering his gaze so as not to offend the powerful sorcerer. "You would grant me passage, but not one as lowly as I portrayed? I'm outraged. You are too greedy, ferryman. Prepare to learn a little humility." And with that, the powerful sorcerer built up his magic and cast a mighty spell. The river, which had been there for as long as anyone could remember, stopped flowing. The water there dried up. The ferry lay stuck in the mud. Morton turned, strode away, never to be seen again.
That's quite the story, old man. Is that the end?
It's one ending, yes. You see, some say that sorcerer, well, he had a few run-ins later on in his own life, and he went on to become something a little more powerful.
In the map, what area did we come from?
You came from Waterdeep, and now you're up by the H, which is Harker's Ferry.
Okay, but on the Harker's Ferry, I was saying, what area did we come through in?
You came from the south. Came
And
from
what
right
building
down
were we
there.
in?
You're in Building D, which is the Spawning Trout Tavern. Now, friends, if you don't believe the validity of my words and think this is just a lowly bard's tale, by all means, go out and take a look at the ferry. It's right out there, he points, kind of to the northwest.
Agluis walks outside, lights his pipe, and starts walking towards the dock, or what he feels is a dock, because there's no river.
There is no river. Matter of fact, you can tell that there was once a river here, and it was quite some time ago. There is indeed a ferry boat that is stuck in the mud. The mud is long since dried out. It's now almost like a petrified ground around this hull. And even though the ferry looks old, very, very old, like if you were to go climb on it, even you, who is very lightweight, would probably break through it in a heartbeat. But somehow magic or something is keeping this ferry together. And it sits here along this ruined dock like some kind of edifice to the entire town about what greed really brings you. And it's just a big, glaring, scarring reminder. Because anywhere that you can see in this town can pretty much see where this dock is and can pretty much see this ferry. You can see that there's toys strewn about. Obviously, children in town play over here. It's not dangerous, other than to climb on. But it sounds like the old man is absolutely true in his story. Now, the river, which was once through here, had to be a good 100 paces across, right here where the road passes over it at this point. So, the magic that was utilized, if it was truly magic that was utilized, must have been powerful to stop a river of this size. Is there a dragon whistle in the toys? You know what? Why don't you go ahead and roll me an investigation check, and we'll see if you can find any kind of interesting trinkets. Okay, with that investigation, you do find that there are a couple of toys that are still considered to be relatively well repaired. You don't find a dragon whistle, however, you do find a little pull toy of a dragon. If you were to pull it across the ground, the dragon's head would bob up and down and its wings would flap.
That sounds fun. I'll take it.
Okay, so put dragon toy on your character sheet in your inventory, and it weighs half a pound.
Agluis, you rummaging through the children's toys again.
You never know when you could find a spare wand.
That is true. That is true. You did think you found a wand at one point, but it just ended up being a rusty nail that was kind of half in and half out of the ground. So, Frederick sits there. Now he's drinking a cup of mulled cider. Ah, so I see. You went and checked. I told you that river was gone. My stories, they're true stories. And just like every road starts with a single paving stone, so too every adventure starts with one step upon that road. Would you like your first step upon a road possibly to riches? He is saying this, by the way, as what it looks like farmers and villagers are beginning to come into the tavern. It's late afternoon, early evening. It's getting close to dinner time. Frederick has already ordered you guys food, so...
Agluis starts to wonder if this man isn't the sorcerer, and he kind of whispers something in possibly draconic to see if he can see any hint of him understanding what he's saying.
Okay. Well, Frederick does not appear to recognize it, but you can roll me an insight check to see if he may just be bold-faced lying to you. Matter of fact, all of you can roll an insight check if you wish. as far as any of you can tell, he is being truthful. And as far as Agluis goes, he doesn't appear to actually understand Draconic at all. Oh, thank you very much for that follow, by the way. He doesn't appear to understand what you're saying in Draconic at all.
Now that was a nice story, and apparently the river is not there. But could any of these other inhabitants of the town give us the same story? Is this not a tale that is told here?
Well, it's not told with as much flourish as what I tell it. You see, if you went to the town records hall, you would see that this is true. Harker ended up a destitute man. Poor, broken man. It was only his sons who were able to turn misfortune to fortune and guided people across the mud flats that were once the river. That's the only thing that kept this small village alive. He kind of looks around this tavern. This tavern is absolutely huge. Okay, we're saying the thing is, 50 feet deep and over 120 feet long. It has 2 stories to it. Next door to the north, which is labeled A on this map, that is called the Bluegill Inn, and easily could hold over 50 people in private rooms on 4 separate floors. Absolutely huge inn. But for this little town, there is absolutely nothing here. I mean, there's a handful of little outlying farms and huts and such, and very few buildings inside town. However, there's these 2 huge areas that would be meant more or less for people who would be traveling through here. Lots of people who would be traveling through here. So they stick out like sore thumbs. But the only reason these things still exist is because Harker's sons were able to keep the town as prosperous as it could for the next 100 or so years. The family just kept on going.
Yeah, it's pretty lucky with having the river dry up and whatnot. What other things bring people to this ferry area here?
Well, long ago, this was also a jump-off point for people to go look for treasures. See, before the beginning of history, in a place not so far from here, it was born. A place of mystery, enchantment, and danger. A mighty dragon, his name so powerful it cannot be spoken aloud, had a lair on top of a mountain. This lair was filled with gold, jewels, diamonds, and more. He kept this lair for an age, untouched and unmolested by any mere mortals. One day, a powerful, skeletal lich lord came to the mountain. On its peak, the battle was lain. In the end, both lay dead, and the treasure unclaimed. Finding the mountain is nigh unto impossible, as it moves in and out of our plane, staying only for a short time. This cycle is repeated every 20 years, with the mountain appearing in a different place each time. The location of the mountain could be discerned from certain artifacts, but the location and identity of these items is lost to the ages.
Do you have any potential rumors about the treasure? Would it have any super powerful wands at all?
At this point, you hear a man who up until now, none of you really noticed. He just common farmer was standing nearby listening to his story. Afternoon, friends. I see that old Frederick here. Welcome home, by the way, boy. Old Frederick here. he's interested you in possibly Dragon Mountain. That's a nasty place. Myself, I don't know anything about it. But an old companion of mine, his name's Lothar the Shiv, by the way, he was there. Must have been, like Frederick said, probably 20-some-odd years ago. Lothar, now, he could tell you a thing or two about that mountain. I'm sure of it. If you was eager adventurers, like you appear to be, I'd look up Lothar instead. I think he lives in a little village not too far from here, actually, up this branch of the Dried River. Is a place called Twin Forks. I'd go there. He might be able to tell you whether there's wands and such in there.
Sounds good to me. You have my attention.
Agluis, you've never explained your fascination with these magical sticks. Why is it you're always looking for wands?
It's just an obsession of mine. I have to have a large collection in my life, and recently some person stole it from me in the middle of my night's slumber. So I must either find out who this person is and get them back, or start a new collection. By any means possible, almost.
Well, adventurers, says Frederick, looking up at this other man who has introduced himself as Eric. Don't go yet. Night is beginning to fall, and, well, the road along the old river is perilous at night. You don't want to take it now. I would say stay until morning at least. Let me pay for your rooms next door. I can pay for a few over at the Bluegill. You can stay there until the morning. Get a fresh start. Full bellies.
I nod in acceptance.
Good. Well, you enjoy the tavern and get something to eat and enjoy yourselves here for a few. I'm gonna go next door. I'll get you your rooms, and I'll be back. With that, he creaks his body up out of the chair and begins to hobble across the inn, or across the tavern and towards the front door.
Boden turns to the others and says,
So, are we about to go look for this Lothar fellow? Is this really why we came all this way?
I just shrug, kind of an attitude of, we're here, why not?
Okay.
Agluis, in the back of his mind, is waiting for potentially when this old man comes back, and before he comes back, he's going to cast Detect Magic and see if he senses anything.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, you'll see the old man, he leaves, he walks past the window, and about 10, 15, 20 minutes later, you see him hobbling back down in front of the window. So about then is when you'll probably want to cast your Detect Magic. I do believe on your character sheet, Agluis, I put a spell casting skill on your sheet. Could you please roll that for me? Boden, I'll be putting one on your character sheet as well.
Oh, I do see it. Okay.
Okay. Now, spellcasting checks, by the way, are absolutely beautiful ways of doing things like determining dweemers, or if you're going to be doing Dispel Magic, you would roll this no matter what, because you don't know what spell somebody's casting or what level they're casting. So these are great ways of doing it just by throwing it as a skill check. And it's very easy to add. Very, very easy to do. So you do that, and he walks back in the door. Now, what catches your eye isn't Frederick and any magic on him, which he has none. What catches your eye is the door frame itself. Apparently, on the door frame, there's abjuration magic. Light, very very low level.
Okay. Agluis kind of want to walk around some of the outside, like the inn and other buildings, see if he can detect any other kind of magics around these buildings. Just kind of like wander around and smoking his pipe.
Okay. Well, as you wander around outside, you'll determine that the 3 doors that are on the east side of the tavern, all 3 of them, have magic. And also, the doors to the inn, which is directly to the north, those also have magic. Across the street, the building labeled C, that is the town hall. That has no magic on it whatsoever. And then to the north, the one labeled B, that's kind of on the corner, the northeast corner there, that one you can see is a supply shop called Barracks. That also has on its front door some kind of magic, also abjuration. All of these doors seem to have the same one cast, and if you roll me a second spellcasting check, I can tell you possibly even if they're cast by the same person. You do not know. Typically in the Forgotten Realms, every single wizard, by the time they reach about the 2nd level of experience, they're no longer apprentices anymore. They would create a sigil, and somewhere in that magic their sigil would be. Unfortunately, you were unable to discern it inside the magic of these doors.
Okay, and I'll just continue my walk and just wonder what's going on. There's just unusual magics around these doors.
Okay. Meanwhile, while you're walking around and looking at the doors, Frederick comes back in and speaks to Ariki and Boden. Why, here you are, my friends. I was able to secure 3 rooms. Well, 4 rooms, because I forgot that the NPC's here as well. I was able to secure you 4 rooms for the night. You are all taken care of. They have clean linens, nice and warm. The fires will be stoked and ready by the time you go over and want your room to sleep in bed for the night. But until then, please, by all means, partake of some enjoyment and some festivities. Talk to others in the area. I'm sure there's a sheep or 2 that may have gone missing. And he kind of tee-hees and giggles.
Thank you for these pleasantries. I look forward to a good night rest.
He smiles broadly. He's very much a very grandfatherly type of person. He wants to treat all of you kind of like, almost like your long-lost kids. And as the 3 days of travel from Waterdeep to Harker's Ferry went on, you saw that he was warming up to each of you in your own ways. Like Agluis, he would have conversations with about magic, and Agluis, once again, he likes wands, so therefore he would tell him stories about wands that were just like huge and fantastical, which Agluis, you knew he was lying through his teeth and they were just bard's tales. Boden,
but I'm still sucked in, I think.
Oh yeah, you're still enraptured by these tales. Boden, he would talk to you about, the virtues of warriors that would go off to battle, and the great heroic deeds that they would do, and how they were champions of the downtrodden, and freed people, and from all across the realms. Some of these stories were absolutely 100% true that you'd heard even growing up yourself. Some of them he may have been making up on the spot. And Ariki, he sat down, he chatted with you for a while. He understood that you are a huntress, you are a sniper, you worked with the military. He understood these things, and he told you military tales. He told you great romances. He tried and tried and tried to treat you like you were his granddaughter. And like most grandfathers who have granddaughters that are of a specific age, he failed more often than he succeeded, but he ended up worming his way into your heart as just this doddering old man that just appears to be fun for you. He was just entertaining, a fun old man. And for Taharan, there was a lot of just religious back and forth. Taharan would expound the virtues of Lathander, while Frederick would counter with something about Ilmater or about Tempest. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth the entire time. They almost bickered like they were brothers. So,
Is Agluis still walking outside?
yep, he's still walking outside. So what would the two of you like to do? Because Taharan is going to go retire for the night. He needs to get up very early in the morning and pray for his spells before you guys start the next day.
Boden has similar practices, but wants to get to know the locals a little bit and see what they know of the old man, of Frederick.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me a persuasion check? Oh, very good. Very, very good. All right, so Boden, you'll walk around the tavern a little bit, and eventually you do find yourself a barmaid that does know who Frederick is. She seems a little younger, probably in her very early 20s or very late teens. And happy, very jovial styled woman. Not really the most comely woman you've ever seen, but for a human, she's passable. Average. What would you like to know?
What can you tell me about him? Does he live here? Has he always lived here?
Oh, that man, he would come back and forth, and he would just travel and travel. He'd come back with brand new stories and regale us for months on these new stories, and then off he would go. Wouldn't see him for a year at a time. Yes, he does live here. He has a little shack out in the woods. Sometimes we rent out the shack whenever there's new farmhands in the area, but under his supervision, of course, he allows this. But we don't get to see him very often. It's always a treat when he brings back new stories. I think this is the first time he's ever brought people back, though.
Interesting. Is he well known around these parts? You say you don't see him very often. Do you interact with him much?
Oh, I only talk to him while he's here, and I listen to his stories. When I was a little child, we used to sit out on the dock, and he would regale us throughout the entire summer with stories of his travels all across Faerun. He went to Silvery Moon, He got to meet the silver-handed lady herself. She looks awe-inspired by this.
Interesting. So he mostly travels, you say. He's a kindly old man, but there's something odd, something... I don't know where his place is, I suppose.
Well, my father says that he's always had a bit of the wanderlust in him. He's not like the rest of us around here. Most of us, we've born within a day's walk, live within a day's walk, and die within a day's walk of town. He, on the other hand, he just can't sit still. I mean, look at him. He's a stick. He's old. And yet he jumps around all spry and springy like he was a young boy. Adventuring is a younger person's game. It's not meant for old men.
This is true. Thank you for your time.
And she smiles at you sweetly, and then she bounces back off to work.
And Boden will finish his beverages, and then head back to the inn.
Excellent. You'll find that the inn is very comfortable, and the fires are indeed stoked. The rooms are paid for. The rooms only went for about 5 silver pieces each. You'll discover as you talk to the innkeepers. It's not very expensive. In Waterdeep, the same kind of place would probably cost 5 gold pieces a night, easily. So, it's definitely a lot less expensive for you.
Excellent. Wouldn't want to tax the old man after all.
Yeah. So, make sure everybody is marked down on their character sheets so they got an additional 50 gold pieces each. So, alright, so Agluis, you will see Boden walk into the inn while you're outside wandering around smoking your pipe. Do you wish to do anything else while you're out there?
I forget, is Boden the one that I discovered has magic within him? Or who was the person that I remember that having?
The one that had magic within them?
Yeah, like had a sense of magic.
The sense of magic would be Fedric, which is the old man. But everybody who's in the party, so Taharan, Boden, Ariki, and yourself, the 4 of you actually have magic on you or are able to cast spells in one way or another. Fedric just seems to have a magic about him. The way he speaks, the way he moves, everything about him just seems to be just magical. He just seems otherworldly.
Can I give a second thought about what he might be?
You could. If you want to, you could roll an Arcana check to possibly put a finger on it. And while you're doing that, Ariki, do you have anything you would like to do?
Mostly just listen to the conversations around me and just see if anything catches my interest or if it's all just mundane small village life.
For the most part, it's small village life. However, there is a few snippets of conversations, specifically whenever Fedric begins telling a story, that you hear almost like ripples in a pond. Wherever he sits, he'll tell a story. And he'll go through one whole story, and like it's ripples in a pond. Somebody would start saying something, and it's just a ripple that goes away from him. Then he moves to another table, and he says another story, and it's another ripple in the pond. But once that story's passed and that ripple is passed, they go back to talking about their little humdrum lives. Now, the stories he tells a lot of stories about heroics. He tells stories about lost treasures and wonderful places. He's heard stories from the jungles of Chult, from adventurers that have been there, and about how they've been dying by the droves and resurrected as undead, and people, of course, shudder and say ooh and ah, and oh, I'm glad I live up here in the north. He goes around, he says how he got to walk across the moon bridge of Silvery Moon, and while he was there, he watched a golem, running face first into a barrier, a magical barrier, and watched the Silver Knights beat it up and do all sorts of things. Just lots of heroics and great and grand things. Even to the story of Dragon Mountain, which he has told at least 2 more times since he told it to you guys. Even to that, you'll still hear people say, oh, I went there for lunch yesterday, and say very ridiculous claims, and which are obviously lies. No need for an insight check on those. Those are obviously lies. And it's just very unusual the way he pops around the room. He almost looks like he floats. It's like he's working a room. It's like he's lived inside this room his entire, 60, 70 years, and he has every piece memorized, like every beam, every board, every table, every person sitting any place. The random swing of an arm he's already dodged out of the way of, but yet he goes back to this rickety old walk like half a step later. It's just unusual to watch him move through the room.
I whisper to people of our party, the three people, and tell them that there's just something up with these doors, that it's an abjuration magic, and that there's just something unusual, like almost like otherworldly of this old man.
And your Arcana check, unfortunately, really didn't give you much of anything. There are so many things. If he's not a human being, there are so many things he could be. He could be an incubus in disguise. He could be some sort of fiendish creature. He could be all sorts of different things. But you don't sense, you sense that he has a magic about him. That could just be his personality. That could be his experiences. That could be his stories. But otherwise, him himself, you looked right at him with Detect Magic. There is not a drop of magic, like actual magic in him. So anything else, Ariki?
Do I hear anybody, complaining of incidents like, livestock missing or wild animals attacking farms unexpectedly, or any unusual activity that, I feel like I might be able to help with? Missing villagers, anything?
Why don't you go ahead and roll me an investigation check, and we'll see if there is anything in the rumors that would be noteworthy for you. Okay, you do hear that, a wolf grabbed a sheep this week, and, I found its corpse, that kind of stuff. You hear that Old Smith's cow just had a calf. You've heard that, goblin footprints were found in the snow far to the north by some hunters, but they're so far away, they're like over a day away kind of thing, that nobody really cares. You hear little stories like that, typical everyday village stories. Nothing that's really alarming to them. It's, a sheep got lost to a wolf. That sucks for you, I'm sorry, but, life moves on kind of thing. That's the kind of stories you're hearing, and nothing really... Honestly, it's probably one of the most boring villages you've been to in a long time, other than maybe Frederick and Eric. The two of them seem to have, a little bit of information. The fact that Eric told you about Lothar, the Frederick, has all these wonderful stories. Other than that, really not much of anything.
Okay. Once I figure out that there's appears to be nothing that's unusual according to the villagers, I'm gonna head next door and get some rest.
Okay. And Agluis, do you have anything else you would like to do?
Sit down at the bar and work on another cup of tea, soothing cup of tea, and just ponder what's going on with this magic stuff here.
Okay. Very, very good. How late do you think you'll stay at the tavern drinking tea? Now, the teas that they have at the tavern are not nearly as strong as what you like typically. These are pretty common everyday teas.
Yeah, just doing something to relax, see if my nerves will relax, because it's just kind of throwing me off guard a little bit, not being able to figure out what this magic feeling is of this guy. and
Okay.
why there's abjuration magic on the doors.
Alrighty. As Boden beds down, and Ariki beds down, and Agluis drinks his tea, I would like the three of you to roll me another insight check as you begin to move on to the next day. So far, we've had some pretty good rolls here. All right, pretty decent, pretty decent. All of you, by the time sleep finds any of you, because Agluis, you will eventually get to that point where, you know, hey, there's a warm bed calling for you.
Yeah, after about an hour.
Yeah. So, after some time, and you guys begin to let sleep come over you, you all basically come to the same realization in your room, in your individual rooms, roughly about the same time, that the fantastical element that is Fedric, the larger than life, this huge panache that he puts on is part of his act. It's part of his performance. And the reason why all of you feel so on edge in this little village, and why he seems so otherworldly and just gone and removed from a place like this, isn't because he is otherworldly. It's because he's traveled. He's an adventurer, like you are. And you and he are probably all bored with the fact that there has been no adventure. So as you begin to drift off, you all can hear in your mind, and a slow smile comes across each of your faces as you all realize, tomorrow we start an adventure. At this point is where you all fall asleep. And I know we've only been going about an hour and 10 minutes at this point, but why don't we go ahead and take a 5-10 minute break, allow people to take, potty breaks and other such things, and we'll let all that kind of go on. We'll let our chat digest things for a few minutes while we all step away, fill coffee cups, do whatever else we need, and come back in, 5 minutes? Or do you guys need longer?
That's fine.
Okay, so we will be back.
Back to 10. I gotta boil some water.
10? Okay, all right. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. So that'll be roughly a quarter after the hour, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back, and for my players, I'll put a vote up in the chat, or up in our up on our table. So when you're back, just hit the check mark. Let me know that you're back. And meanwhile, I'll run some music. I'll put it on the Be Right Back screen, and we'll see everybody in about 10 minutes. Okay, while we wait for our players to get back to the table, I'll just say howdy to my chat. And ladies and gentlemen, I will be posting in my Discord chat in LFG, in that channel after this game is over. I'll post there that I'm looking for another player. I will indeed be giving the first possibilities to people who had taken part in the contest. I will give them a little bit of extra room, a little bit of wiggle room in there. But I will be speaking to everybody who is interested in playing. So it will not just be a blind taste test kind of thing. I will definitely talk to everyone. And for those of you who are watching, thank you very much for following. I haven't been able to say thank you to everybody who's done it so far. But thank you for the follows, everyone. And if you like what you're seeing, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be playing Tales from the Yawning Portal, White Plume Mountain with the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels this evening. So I actually get to play as a player. So it's one of the very rare times that I get to do that. Susie Q is one of the newest scoundrels. She'll be coming in. She'll be playing as well. Rob Tui will be the one who's running this evening. FSH Schmo is playing this evening. E Cruz and CJ. So yes, we have lots and lots of wonderful things going on for everybody. So we are starting to get some players back at this point in time. And players, you're welcome to talk, you know. It's absolutely fine. You can talk to chat at the same time that I'm talking to them. The chat likes to interact with the players. But like any new group, like I posted a little bit earlier on here, ladies and gents, and like any new group of players who get to play with each other for the first time ever, these people are new on the table together. I am their new GM. This is the first time they've gotten to play this together. They're starting off with 10th level characters here. It's a campaign, so they're going to be together for a while. We'll be playing weekly. And so they're going to be a little quiet. They're going to be a little quiet. So it's not too terribly bad. Not too terribly bad. We're just starting off on the adventure. We haven't even gotten to our first combat encounter yet. These are not pre-gens. These are characters they made themselves. So they are definitely just kind of, they're feeling out their own personalities. They're feeling out each other's personalities. We have some players, like for example Zoo, when he is in character, I think he's putting in fake tusks while he plays his character, just to get that extra orc sound to his voice. So we've got a lot of wonderful players here today. I mean, I'm really happy that we have them. They are a little quiet. That's okay. That's okay. Every group starts off quiet. By a couple of sessions in, I won't be able to get them to shut up. So that's going to be great. Now, when they made these characters, okay, so we had the drawing on Monday last week on who got to win the spots for the table. They started making their characters pretty quickly after that. And while they're making their characters, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do for magic items, because they're 10th level characters. They're going to have magic items. So we use Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and we use the treasure points in the back. Appendix A, for anybody who wants to take a look at the treasure points. We used Appendix A, and I gave them 30 treasure points apiece to go ahead and buy anything they would like. They are considered to be Tier 3 characters. Tier 3 is roughly 10th, 11th level characters. And they could choose anything that a Tier 3 character could have. The tiers, by the way, you can find the breakdown of tiers in either the Adventure League rules, or you can find them in the DMG as well. You can find both of those there. And they're allowed to buy anything they want. Some of the players bought legendary items, which is the first time I've had legendary items on my table in, wow, since I've been playing 5th edition, it's the first time anybody's had a legendary item.
Why aren't we special?
I know, and multiple characters have them. So that's even better. Now, there's some other players who also, I'm not going to waste it on who has what, legendary item. I'm sure people will be able to figure it out here eventually. But there are some players who, oh, thank you very much for that follow. There are some players here who, instead of buying legendary, going for the big bang for the buck kind of thing, they decided to go a little bit more ease into it. And they decided to purchase a few things where they were considered a little bit more minor, where they spent their more points, like fewer number of points on more things versus big chunks of points on big things. So we got kind of a nice broad range of stuff going on.
I don't understand why you want to do that. Bigger is better. Come on.
Not always. Not always.
Elwood response.
Nothing looked interesting in the big stuff. Didn't fit with my character. Didn't look useful to her.
There you go. See, look at that. All right, so we have all the characters are back at this point. We will be on the next day, the dawn of the next day, and it has broken clear, crisp, and cold. But the sky is blue. There are birds singing their slightly snowy songs this morning. There is not a hint of a cloud in the sky, and Lathander's large eye looks down upon Faerun. And today you get to journey off to possibly find Lothar the Shiv. So, lady and gentlemen, we shall proceed. What would you like to do first thing in the morning?
Agluis is going to need his morning tea.
Okay. You get a cup of tea that reminds you of the earthly equivalent of an Earl Grey breakfast tea.
That'll have to do, I guess.
Yes. It's tart, but not overly so.
Boden will be up early doing some martial practice, doing his rituals to Tempest.
Excellent.
Did we get a long rest, I'm assuming?
Yes, you guys got a long rest. Let me go ahead and throw that at you. Since one of you did indeed cast spell.
I know, so costly.
Yeah, that detect magic, you know what I mean? There we go. There's a long rest for all you. All right.
I'll need to stretch out before I do the spell again.
Yeah, you gotta stretch. Oh, that bed was comfortable. So while Boden is out, you'll see Taharan is also out praying under the sun. Though he doesn't do sword maneuvers with this beautiful blade of his, he has yet to even unsheath it in your presence. But it appears that he feels very comfortable with it. He wears it on his hip like he's comfortable. So he's praying to Lathander. You can hear him praying as he's going over spell rotes and such things first thing in the morning. And Ariki, what would you like to do first thing in the morning?
Well, when I first get up in the morning, breakfast probably is not served, seeing as I need less time for a long rest than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll probably, around about time breakfast starts being served, I will head over and eat.
Excellent.
Because it's been a while since I've had this many good meals in a row.
Exactly. And you are all served eggs and bacon and there's these strange cakes that are very flat. They say that they were made in a pan instead of being baked. Very unusual. There's honeys and butters and molasses and all sorts of things sitting on the table. The only thing that's missing from this spread in front of you, which some of you have eaten at some of the finest establishments in all of Waterdeep, The only thing that's missing is any of the fruit preserves that come from the deep south. Ah, those fruit preserves out of Am. Those would be wonderful right now on maybe some of these pancakes that they call. But you have to settle for honey or molasses. I just made myself hungry.
It's still early here too. Don't do that to me.
Sorry. Not really. All right. So, the day has broken beautifully. Wonderful. Breakfast in the morning. Your horses have been brushed down by the stable boys. You are ready to adventure. Oh, this brings back memories.
Can I make a note? If anytime we're traveling, I sense that there's going to be any kind of danger kind of about, I'd like to cast Mage Armor. ASAP.
Okay. All right, not a problem. Alrighty. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to the party sheet. Now, for those of you who don't know where the party sheet is, up in the upper right-hand corner of Fantasy Grounds, you'll see a little button that has an eye with 3 like human heads next to it. That is your party sheet. In there is an order. Would you guys like to tell me what order would be considered a marching order for any of you?
Boden would likely be up in front.
Up towards the front?
Unless Ariki wanted to go out and scout, but when we're together, it'd probably be in front.
Okay.
Yeah, I would typically like to scout ahead maybe 30, 40 feet. And if there's cover, sneak around in the cover. Stay close to, if not in the cover.
Okay, okay. And Agluis, will you be in the back, or do you want to ride abreast with people?
In the rear with the gear.
Alrighty, very well. Alright, so you all have horses, and you will be marching along. And it's a pretty fair travel. Unfortunately, the road is not nearly as smooth as you hoped it would be. So it is going to take you roughly a day and a half to go from Harker's Ferry to Twin Forks. And I would like a percentile dice out of, let's go with Ariki. Excellent. All right. It's getting on tonight, and unfortunately, you're along the road. It's been a very dull ride, as Ariki's roll will show you. An incredibly dull ride. You swear you've passed by the same 4 trees, just in different configurations for the last 20 miles. The horses are walking with their heads down. Even their spirits seem to be bored. However, about evening time, Ariki, can you make me a survival check?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hang on. I think I might have, yeah. Yeah, I get double proficiency on that.
Okay.
And I don't know if that has been.
Yep, it was added, the +4 effect.
Okay, there we go.
So, alright, so you seem to have found possibly the absolutely perfect location to camp. Now, you'll see that there is a blue box on the left-hand side of this. I am going to drop each of you from the combat tracker in there. And in that blue box, go ahead and align yourselves to where you'd like to go. The tokens are currently locked, so give me a second. There you go, the tokens are unlocked. Stay within the bounds of the blue box, but you can go ahead and move yourselves to where you would like to be. You are coming from the southwest at the moment. Alrighty, and when you are done, go ahead and hit the check mark, and I will lock down the tokens. Awesome. Alright, I'm locking down the tokens now. And at this point, Ariki, since you are alert, I would definitely like to have a perception check out of you with advantage. Damn nice roll.
I know, right?
Wow. Amazing. You know that as you're pulling into this spot, that there is the possibility of an ambush. Could I have initiative out of all of you? Excellent. I should probably roll one for myself too, huh? There we go. Alright, Ariki, you are the first to be able to act.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use the silent signals that I'm familiar with to indicate an ambush, and I have no idea if my companions will actually recognize this. But then I'm going to get off my horse and step towards cover.
Okay. Why doesn't, let's see here, why don't you roll me a performance check? And why doesn't everybody else roll me an insight check to see if you understand Ariki is making some strange hand movements. Hey, this is an opportunity for you to roll low, and you did. Okay, so everybody but Algus gets this one. Or Agluis. Agluis. I will get this eventually. Everybody but Agluis gets this, that there is something going on as she gets down off her horse and starts moving off to the brush. Now,
because I saw a stick that looks like a wand, I was just mesmerized.
Yes, you were. You have a very, very nasty wand fetish.
You should not travel in the forest.
If I still have at least a bonus action left, I would like to hide.
Okay. Well, as you climb off your horse and you begin to move in that direction, you can see hiding in the trees ahead of you by about 10 feet, you can see a human. He is wielding a longsword. You also see very nearby you another one. Now, neither of them seems to have noticed you specifically yet.
Okay.
They're kind of looking over here in this direction.
Okay. I would still like to attempt to hide.
Awesome. You can go ahead and roll a stealth check then. Excellent.
And that will be the end of my turn.
Okay. Taharan, being the kind of person he is, rides forward on his horse, grabs a hold of Ariki's horse, and will jump down over here and tie the two of them to a stump. And then he moves off to pull his sword and be ready for what is about to happen. At which point, from the tree line, the rest of you will see this as well, as all hell begins to break loose. A brigand runs out from under his brush, wielding a long sword, and begins to run towards Taharan. Another brigand, far up here to the north, will target Taharan and attempt to shoot him with longbow. Hits once. Hits twice. Another archer over here takes a shot at Boden and misses the first time and hits with a second. Another one. Can't believe how well they rolled on their initiatives here. It's pretty freaking amazing. We'll shoot at Taharan. And misses him. And misses him. Look, ladies and gentlemen, even my NPC healers don't get the benefit of the doubt. This one will target. And a 1. And he loses his second attack. Okay, Agluis. So you see arrows beginning to rain down, and a man runs out and is running at Taharan, who appears to be wounded.
Okay. Do I see anything going on?
Yes, you can see the brigand number 3 that is ahead of you to the northeast. You can see that he has run from cover, and he is running at Taharan with a longsword pulled. And then, of course, you saw all the arrows.
I can't see anybody else.
You saw arrows coming out of the trees to the north and to the east. If you'd like to roll a perception check, you may be able to see Brigand 10 and 1, who are to the east of Ariki. You may be able to see them. Nope, you will not be able to see them yet.
Okay. Then I will light this guy up with a firebolt. That's,
Excellent.
Number 3.
Alrighty. That is a critical hit. Don't forget to target.
Nice way to start.
Oh, you're just dragging and dropping the dice on top of them. Awesome. Boom! Big hit. Big hit right off the bat.
Right in the kisser.
Right in the kissa. Alright, so this archer, realizing that he just saw his buddy get firebolted, he is going to bolt this direction, running from tree to tree. And seeing Boden, he is going to shoot at Boden. Misses. And one more time, misses. This brigand, unhand me, ne'er-do-wells. This one will run down here, this direction, with his longsword raised as well, getting ready to do some nastiness to somebody. Because he saw the gnome shoot the firebolt. Alright, this brigand over here will make a perception check. Ooh. I gotta double check that. Ah, not good enough. Does not notice her. And he will break from cover going this way to try to knock Agluis off his horse. However, Ariki, you do have an opportunity attack that you can utilize here if you wish against Brigand number 1.
Okay.
And you would have it at advantage since he did not notice you.
Except it would probably be with my bow because I never use anything else. And that would be a disadvantage because he's within 5 feet of me, yeah?
Correct.
So that cancels out.
Correct.
But that is okay. A hit is better than, or a chance to hit is better than no chance.
Exactly.
Oops, forgot to target him.
It's a hit.
Nice.
And you do get your sneak attack in this as well.
No, because I technically had both advantage and disadvantage, and if I have disadvantage, then I can't use sneak attack.
Okay, not a problem. Alrighty, so the brigand.
Now, this brigand attack, is this considered an attack, or is he trying to shove or something?
He was going to attempt to attack you, and then he ended up with an arrow in his ass cheek, and that snapped him to, like, what the hell is going on kind of thing. So he had no idea where that just came from. Something literally jumped up and bit him in the butt, and it stopped him dead in his tracks as he got close. Alright. So, the brigand here does indeed notice the arrow, and will move over. He will attempt to use his longsword to slice at you. Ooh. And a miss. This brigand, on the other hand, notices nothing except for a guy in like no armor out there. As he comes to the corner, he sees a half-orc in plate armor on a horse. He thinks he would like to go after him instead. Misses. And misses. And this brigand will break cover. Not quite be able to reach and attack this round. This brigand archer over here doesn't make even any attempt to hide as he runs across the backside of the battlefield, heading to the northeast. Considering you didn't have any charges used, no, you didn't get any back. Alright, Boden, it is your turn.
Boden, now in a predicament of who to protect, will hop down off of his warhorse, use the dodge action, and come over here to stand in front of Taharan.
Okay, so you are using the dodge action instead of disengage.
Correct.
Alright, so you'll have 2 op shots on you. I'll just roll them off the same person. There's a critical hit.
Of course.
Hashtag DM Dice Mod. And a miss from the other one. Alright, so you have moved over in front of Taharan. That works.
And yelling at Taharan, you need to get to cover.
I will, son. I will. Alright, this one, seeing that you are out there, will target you. At disadvantage, he will attempt to shoot you. Since you're jumping around all pimbly-nimbly. Misses you. You are the most difficult half-orc to hit ever created. Alright, and this one will... Let's see, what can he see? What can he see? He can't see much of anything. So he is moving up this way. So he has a better vantage point for next round. Starting at the top of the round, now we are using randomized initiatives. So you only have to roll the first round of combat, and then Fantasy Grounds will roll it automatically for us every round thereafter. It kind of makes things go differently. We'll use it this time around. If you guys do not like it, we can talk about it after game today, and we can always change. So he will move up.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep. And once again, seeing the Pimbly Nimbly half-orc in plate mail, he is shooting at him. Oops, it's supposed to be a disadvantage. Let me take the lower of these two. Either way, we hit.
Jeez.
Yeah. Alright, now I'll put disadvantage on for his second attack. Agluis, it's your turn there, my dear boy.
Oh, there's so many options.
There are many, many options.
Gonna move down 5 feet.
Are you hopping off your horse?
Do I need to?
Don't have to, no.
And I'll like to cast Ray of Frost. So that'll hit Brigand 1, 4, 5, and 8, I think.
1, 4, 5, and 8. Okay. How long is that?
60 feet.
60 feet. Okay. So let me draw a line between them all. Yep, you will catch all 4 of them. I mean, that's only 30 feet that I put there, but yeah. Woohoo! 1 missed, but that's okay. Nice.
Oh, I forgot to add my...
It's another 3 points, right?
Yeah, well, that and then my potent cantrip.
Potent cantrip doesn't work on hits, only on saving throw ones.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Not
So
a
8
problem.
damage.
Yep, so 8 damage. And that was to, let's see here, 3, 8, and 4. Let me go ahead and modify their damages first. Only problem with having this many things in the combat tracker. It takes a while. Alright, so this one, now that he can see somebody over there, he is going to attempt to shoot. That's going to be a miss either way we go at it, because I forgot disadvantage on him again. There we go, disadvantage. And, oh, he rolls a 1 and has an opportunity of shooting number 3 in the back of the head. Once again, house rule of rolling a 1 while shooting at people who are in front. You have the opportunity of hitting whoever is in your way. Does indeed hit his buddy in the back of the head for 9 points of damage. Alright, Ariki. Brigand 10 slashed at you with his sword.
Yes, he did. But he's much too close to me.
Yes, he is.
So give me a minute. I need to figure out where I want to go and how far it takes me.
Not a problem. By the way, I'm not a stickler for squares. If you end up between squares, on lines, etc., I do not care. The world, after all, is not designed for squares.
Yeah. Okay. I think I want to make that as my move.
Okay, and
I am taking the disengage as a bonus action.
okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I'm taking disengage as a bonus action, and then I'm going to hit him. Oh, well, shoot at him.
Shoot at him. Awesome. That's a hit. Nice damage.
There we go. And I'm out of bonus actions, or I would hide. All right.
Awesome. All right. So this brigand will attempt to attack over here. Now, Boden, I know that you have a number of abilities. Do you have a reaction ability to cause disadvantage to the brigand before I roll it?
Yes, I will impose my shield in the way if he's going to attack Taharan.
He is indeed attacking Taharan. And I have put that on him that he has disadvantage. Oof! He gets past your shield and hits him. Not for a lot, though. And second attack. Whoosh! Hits him again.
That looked like it was defensive effects, not disadvantage. Unless I'm reading that wrong.
Oh, no, that's the defensive effects is what Taharan has on him for his armor class.
Oh, all right.
Yep. But it was disadvantage because you can tell the dice is red. Okay, so the archer over here, he will shoot down at Boden again. I see that you added an effect to yourself to give disadvantage.
Yeah, I coded it up. I didn't see one you had. So
yeah, I don't have a dodge effect on my table yet. Oh, I dropped a 20. You bastard. All right, this brigand.
You already crit me once. Come on.
I know. I like critting people. It's fun for me. Especially when people have, like, legendary items. You are the most agile half-orc in plate armor ever. Alright, he will fire you. Yeah.
Tempest is protecting me.
Tempest is my god. He is happy with me. Wow. There's going to be like a littering of arrows over here. Alright, so this guy will turn on Agluis and attempt to hit him with the longsword. And misses. And then hits. Dealing 8 points of damage. Nice. Now, Agluis, could you remove your cloak effect? Since you took damage this round. This guy will shoot at, not Taharan, but at Boden, because Boden is definitely getting to be in the way. This one will fire at Boden. Good lord! All these disadvantages, I hate it. And this one moves forward. And will attack Boden. Finally a hit! Which of course does almost nothing to you. This one did not enjoy being shot. So he is going to go after Miss Ariki. Misses. And then a hit. Now, just as a reminder, Ariki, you have the ability that when somebody ends their movement within 5 feet of you, you can move up to half your movement away as a reaction.
Yes, but I believe it specifies ends their turn.
Well, it's the end of their turn right now.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to move.
Okay, and he is not allowed to take any sort of op shot on you during this, so.
Right. 35 divided by 2 would give me 15 or
15. Yeah, we'll say 15. Yep. Always drop the fraction.
Yep.
Alright, that was that guy.
All
This
right.
guy does not enjoy being snowballed by a little Gnomi. So he will come
I
over.
need to remove that effect. I'm not able to do it.
Alright, I'll get it for you. Alrighty, so hits you. Hits you. I may end up paper cutting my party to death. Alright, the next archer.
That's okay. Then we start over with new characters.
Next archer is attacking Taharan still. Well, no matter what we go at there, that was going to be a miss because he's at disadvantage because Boden is interposing his shield. The next guy, he moves over here. I would like a perception check out of... Let's go with Boden and Ariki. The two of you have the best opportunity of hearing this. Okay, Ariki, you hear the fact that he has run over and jumped on a horse and is beginning to speed away.
I'm sorry, which one?
That was the one that was in the northeast corner. He's gone off the map at this point, but he was in the northeast corner.
Okay, then.
Yes, he is sped away. All right, so now Taharan, on the other hand, Taharan is going to... He is going to spend a couple of spell points for a meta magic ability. He will spend... How many do I spend here? Okay, equal to the spell's level. So he is casting a fourth... No, he was going to do a third level... He is doing a third level twinned spell. So he is targeting himself. And he is going to target Boden, since he's right there next to him. And he is casting a twinned Cure Wounds at third level. And there you both go. And then, as a bonus action, he lights his longsword on fire. Boden, it is now your turn. You can remove the effect of dodge.
Yep. And the protection only applies to one attack that I give disadvantage on.
Ah, okay. Well,
just so you know.
Yep. So I gave him a freebie on that one.
Darn, that's not quite what I meant by cover. Boden will attack Brigand 6.
Alrighty. And I do believe you have multi-attacks, so I think you have 2 attacks, do you not?
Yes.
Crit hit right off the bat, out of the paladin. Excellent.
All right. I have some choices with that then. I'm definitely going to use Maneuvering Strike to grant Taharan the ability to move his speed and not provoke an attack of opportunity from Brigand 6.
Excellent. He will be doing that, I'm sure, very soon.
Oh, that happens now, I believe.
Oh, now. Okay, so you can move his speed and not get an op shot. Alright, so he's going to move over here.
If I can the coloration of the UI has really changed the way I look for things. Here we go, and I will do 1 level of Divine Smite as well.
Okay. There. How does that do for you?
Okay.
There, I'll put it back to regular daylight time so that way everybody can see things a little bit better. I'm colorblind like a bat, so I can't see shit. Ooh, nice damage. Damn. Big hit. And that was just your first attack.
Yeah. So second attack will also be on him since he's not down yet. Unfortunately, that's kind of scary. And I'll
How
again.
did you do another crit? Oh my gosh. Hashtag DM Dice Mod on somebody's table, all right.
Tempest is guiding my Warhammer.
I'm guessing so.
I'll go for another level of Divine Smite, and yeah, and that's it.
Nice. He's dead. Congratulations, it's the first kill of the campaign. I should have like a little achievement unlocked. Should come flying across the screen. First kill.
Seriously. And Boden is going to move over in front of Taharan again.
Okay. Now, do you want to stay within 5 feet of this brigand in order to not get the op shot on you, or are you willing to step that little extra away to get the op shot?
Yeah, in between those two would be great. Taharan and the brigand.
Like that. Okay, not a problem.
Yes.
Alright, another bandit archer. Way up here at the top of the screen. You have moved around, and I don't like it. I do not like it. So he needs to move. And he moves over to here. Yep, now he's got a clear shot. Oh, look at that. 3 people roll, and 3 times in a row it is a crit hit. Four times in a row it is a crit hit. The next person to roll a crit hit, we may have to stop the table for a bit and let it calm down, because apparently it wants to throw nothing but crits. Alright. Agluis, it is your turn. You have 2 of these brigands right in front of you.
Well, luckily I get my cloak of displacement back.
Yes, you do.
Did that effect get applied properly?
Yes, it did.
And with that, I am going to cast Greater Invisibility on myself.
Ooh, alright. So you are now invisible. Nobody can see you.
Is my horse invisible too?
Since it's greater, I would say yes, your horse is.
Okay, I'm just gonna wander away from these guys.
Give me an animal handling check, because the horse is not used to being invisible.
Oh, this could be disastrous.
It could be. You could go just randomly shooting across the map at any point in time.
I'm gonna be hit like a field goal. And I probably am.
Okay. The horse is a little not happy about it, so he will move half his speed. So you can move 25 feet with the horse. As it is very tentative along its movement. Boden.
I somehow rolled initiative, huh? All right.
The Fantasy Grounds will roll initiative for you automatically every round.
Yeah, but it wasn't a 1 this round.
Yeah, exactly.
It changes, dude.
I'm actually going to dodge once again. And that's it.
Wow, he's a dodging.
Taharan, get in the trees. Get to cover.
He's a dodging fool. Okay, so this brigand really is unhappy with our sniper over here, and he will move towards her again and attempt to attack her. Oh, come on. Aw. Alright, well, you haven't gotten your reaction back yet, so you can't move yet. This brigand will randomly swing at Agluis and misses, because he thinks he's there, but he's not. This one, way over here, is going to take a shot at Boden. And take another shot at Boden. Okay. Ariki.
Okay, how the brigand who got on a horse and left, how far did he get?
He has gotten pretty far already. The horse was
more
waiting
than 600 feet?
Not more than 600 feet, no.
Excellent.
But you do have some cover in here as well. You would like to, I'm assuming, shoot him off his horse?
Yes.
Okay. I will allow, okay, you can target any of the archers, because they all have the same armor class and such. And
Okay.
roll it at disadvantage.
Okay,
That's just because of cover.
because of cover. Okay.
Yep.
If I move, would that change?
Probably not, no.
Okay.
Aww. Wah, wah. Go ahead and roll an attack roll against Brigand Archer number 26, since he kind of is in your way, sorta, as the bolt flies kind of thing.
Okay.
Just a regular attack roll. And we'll see if maybe your random stray shot actually shot somebody else. Yep, it did indeed shoot him. You may do damage to him.
Excellent.
Nice.
All right. And
Do you have extra attack as a scout, or no?
I do not, and I really miss it.
That would really be useful right now.
Yeah. Let me check on some movement. Because I still have my bonus action and movement left.
Yes, you do. I'm assuming you'll be utilizing your bonus to disengage.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get far enough away from Brigand's 10.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it. Okay. Can you clear that movement so I can...
Yep.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Which, by the way, anybody can clear their movement. All you have to do is pick up your token and drop it again.
Oh, okay. Not quite possible to get out of his way. All right. That'll have to do. Don't think I'm out of his range, but I'm not moving further away from my companions into a mess of archers.
Exactly.
Not if I can help it.
Exactly. That would not be a wise decision. Alrighty, this guy. Hey, up there. Does he have a clear shot? Yeah, he does have a clear shot. this point, these guys are just burning arrows, throwing them downfield. Alright, so this guy, he is going to come up, and he is going to attack Boden. He thinks that he might be all jumpy when it comes to arrows, but he's going to hit you with a sword. Or not. This guy, he has a clear shot. He will take it. And misses. And then hits Taharan.
Can I apply disadvantage to that?
You
I didn't
can
realize
indeed.
they were targeting him.
Yep, I'll go ahead and roll another attack roll, and then I can take the damage off him if he misses.
How do you want to handle that?
We can code it as an effect after the game today.
But I just mean when to announce it, since I don't always know when you're targeting and which attack it is.
Yep, not a problem. From now on, if I attack somebody who's going to be within 5 feet of you, I will try to remember to say I'm going to be attacking. That way, it gives you the opportunity. Alright, this guy has no clear shot on Boden this way. So he is going to be an idiot and step over here. And misses. He may as well just hand you all of his arrows. Here, take these.
Sounds good.
Alright, so Taharan is going to do something that you probably didn't want him to do. Because he is just that kind of guy. It's in his personality. That was 5 feet. Let's see, 10, 15, 25, 30. Yeah, I can do that. And he's willing to do that. Alright, so he's going to come up and around the other side, flanking this guy.
Taharan!
Yep. He's going to flank him to gain advantage. Misses anyway with his flaming longsword. And then is willing to take the op shot as he moves back. And is missed anyway. This guy is attacking you, Boden. Misses. Misses again. Alright, this brigand will swing wildly into the air and not hit anything because the gnome has suddenly disappeared with his horse. This archer over here will take a shot at Boden. Misses. And misses. Oh my lord. Okay, so all the archers are just going to walk over. They're going to hand Boden all of their quivers full of arrows because it'd be easier than Boden trying to pick them up one at a time off the ground. Okay, why is he targeting him? Oh, I know why, because he rolled a 1 that one time. Alright, so he is going to target him. And misses. He's just going to give up and walk away, wondering what his life choices are over this direction, because that's like 2 rounds in a row that he has rolled 1s. Back at the top of the round. Okay, this one is going to make a no check. He's just going to give up and go over here after Boden. Nothing. Ariki, it is your turn.
Okay. Is the one on horseback still within 600 feet?
Yes.
I'm going to try and shoot him again.
Okay. Once again, at disadvantage. He is getting to that point where he is getting way out there and it's dark. So, If you don't hit him this time, you will probably lose him.
Okay. That's fine. I just want to make sure that you are remembering that I do have the sharpshooter feat.
Yep, I do. I remember that. That will hit.
That will hit. Excellent.
Yep, just go ahead and roll me some damage. I will apply it to him. Awesome. Alrighty, you definitely have shot him in the shoulder over in that direction.
And he is probably not very happy with me right now.
No, he is not happy with you right now. But he has nothing else he can do because he is not going to turn around and come back. But when it becomes his turn, he will be making an animal handling check. So, we are going to attack Boden again.
Oh, is it too late to take a bonus action to try and hide?
You can go ahead and do that. However, from this point on, make sure to say that before we are at the end of our turn. Or before you're at the end of your turn and advance it. So.
Yes.
Thank you. Alright, so 21. Alrighty, so you're hidden now. Alright, this guy will make a perception check. Does not perceive you. So he is coming out of the wood and coming towards... Ooh, he can reach. Comes out and towards over here to Taharan. Misses. And that would be a hit normally. However, Taharan uses his reaction to parry, which Taharan has that ability to do, and parries this guy's sword. This brigand archer, realizing that attacking Boden is absolutely useless from range, will take a full dash to here, pulling out some daggers along his way. This archer up here, realizing basically about the same thing, will dash down here. That's 50 so far. He will dash down here and attempt to surround Boden. Okay, Agluis, it is your turn, sir.
Agluis just starts looking at his chompers at all these little targets here. He's going to target all these with a huge-ass fireball.
Awesome. And since you have Sculpt Spell, I'm assuming you are going to be missing a few of them?
I'm going to be missing Boden and Taharan.
Alright, so that is your radius, by the way, for your fireball.
Oh,
So, let's see. What is the best possible location for you to hit the maximum
I already
number?
got it.
You already got it?
Already
Okay.
got it.
Awesome. Is this from your staff, or is this your own spell?
From my own spell, and because this is potentially very dangerous for the party, I'm going to unlock it at a 5th level.
Excellent.
The question is, how do I do that with all these things?
Okay.
While doing
Very
click and drag?
easy. Very, very easy. So what you do is you open up your fireball. So you can get to the dice.
Okay.
Where is it? There it is. Alright, you would pick up the 8d6 plus 3 where it says fire. Okay, right there. You see how it turns into a hand? You grab a hold of that. You hover it over the chat box. Right-click twice before you drop it. And what it does is it adds 2 more dice to it. So it'll be 10d6 plus 3 instead.
I guess I'm not going to get that to work. I'm bringing the hand over. If I open up the magnifying glass for the spell ability and damage, and I have a hand, I left click on the fire. Correct.
What you do is it's like drag and drop, but while you're dragging it, right click on it twice while you're doing it, and it'll become 10d6.
It just clears, though. It doesn't stay
Oh,
on my end. Like, the hand goes away.
there! I did it for you.
Sweet, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. Alright, so there is a dead. One died.
That works. And then I'll move, since I'm still invisible, and finish my turn.
Awesome. Alrighty, seeing the ginormous fireball that had just gone off, this guy says, "Peace the fuck out." And he starts moving this way to go climb on a horse over here in the corner. Alright, this archer also dislikes the idea of playing with a wizard and his fireballs, and starts moving this way.
Oh, I guess I forgot one more thing. With my elemental adept, were any of those dices ones? Because if so, I can re-roll them.
Surprisingly, no. We had 2, 4, 2, 5, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Okay.
Good thing that you reminded me of that, because I would not have remembered that one. Alright, even though this guy was just barbecued by a fireball, he doesn't know where it came from, and he's feeling pretty confident that he is going to be taking down Boden. Not going to happen. I dropped a 20, you bastard. Alright. Now, I will say that for most of the party, you're seeing the archers, like, run away that were not caught in the fireball. Except for this guy. He definitely dislikes being caught in a fireball, and he runs away. This one also runs away. Alright, Taharan. Taharan, what is he going to do?
Likely not listen to Boden.
Probably not. But he will... Let's see, is Boden hurt? Boden is hurt. Alright, so what happens here is this. He reaches out and touches the Brigand Archer number 7 with one hand, and then reaches over and touches Boden with the same hand. Well, with his other hand. Aww. And nothing happens, and then he will back off into the woods. He was trying to use Blood Bridge. Neither of them... No, Brigand 10 will. Brigand 10 will take an op shot. And misses. Boden, you are now left all by your little lonesome right there, because Taharan has backed off.
Excellent, but now what? I believe...
Boden does his King Kamehameha explosion and kills all of them. Wahahaha.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, to be a half-orc whirlwind fighter right now.
I think he's actually going to stand there and dodge again.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
It seems to be reasonably effective.
It
Nobody can
is.
hit him, and his allies can hit all his enemies.
Exactly.
But
All
he's
right.
out there taunting them. Come at me, you fools!
Love it. Taunts. Taunt them. All right. Taharan goes. Taharan is going to help. Look, it's Shake and Bake, and I helped. So he is going to target the same one he attempted to do stuff to last time. And he squeezes out a firebolt. and shoots the guy. And then continues to move this way. Almost stepping on Ariki the entire time. Alright, this guy is going to try to dagger you. And tries again. Knife fighting is not working either. Oh, this is not at disadvantage. This is at straight up. So I will roll his last attack normally. Because he's flanking. Alright, this guy.
What are the rules that you use for flanking? Just grants advantage?
Opposite sides. Opposite faces.
And it's advantage?
Correct.
Alright.
Alright, this guy runs away. Ariki! Alright, with your elven sight, actually, can you target one of those people over there in the corner for me, please? Okay, 70 feet, just outside your typical vision, but it is just getting dark. With your elven sight, you can see that those archers are trying to climb on horses right now to ride away.
Okay. I think I would much rather shoot one of these guys.
There you go, there's some horses over there if you ever want to shoot at horses.
No, I think I'm going to shoot at Brigand 8.
Excellent.
No, not 8. 19.
19, gotcha. Excellent hit. Nice damage.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
There you go. Now you got some damage rolling.
And then bonus action to hide.
Okay. Reminder, we will have to code a stealth effect for you, so that way you can always update it and just add it to yourself.
Okay.
So that way we remember what the number is, especially if we're going to have battles where we have, like, 87 people out on the board.
Yeah. All right, and that will be the end of my turn.
Okay. This guy has advantage for flanking on Boden, and will utilize that to attempt to stab him. And does. And tries with his other dagger. And crits.
Wow.
With double ones.
He has advantage because of flanking, but doesn't he have disadvantage because of dodge?
He does, and it did roll that way. As you see, when it comes up, comes advantage, disadvantage. Yep.
Okay, just checking.
Yep, not a problem.
We don't see that, just so you know.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, good.
The swords have indicators on it with the red marks on the edges.
That just indicates whether or not it's hit.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah, it doesn't indicate.
Actually, it does.
Disadvantage.
It does. When it rolls with advantage, whatever the result is will come up as a green d20. If it's rolled at disadvantage, it'll come up as a red d20, and if it's rolled as normal, it'll come up as black.
Yeah, I guess we don't see that though.
Okay,
we
so
don't
you guys
see
are
your
sorcerers.
rolls though.
Okay.
You hide all your rolls from us.
Yeah, I'm hiding them. I'm sneaky. Alright, this guy is going to move in to surround Boden. And make a perfect little pool for our wizard to fireball again.
Oh, it's going to be so red.
Jeez. And on that, Boden will use his reaction to do a celestial hellish rebuke.
Nice. He succeeded.
Ah, but he saved.
Yeah. But he missed on his next attack.
I hope Boden got some Rain-X for his armor, because it's going to be awfully...
Hey, I mean, Boden's doing a great job. He is the magnet for all the damage flying. Good lord. Hitting him is like next to impossible. Only way I can hit him for the most part is with critical hits.
Well, you've done that, what, 6 times?
And dagger.
4. And yeah, and that one dagger. Okay. That was weird. Oh, because I wasn't rolling against you. That's why. Alright, well, there's a miss. I want to learn the name of this game. Do I need to roll a d20? You could roll a d20 if you want to Holy Swiss Knife. Alright, that's a miss as well. Agluis, it is your turn.
The question is, I mean, Boden is so unhittable. I mean, do I really even need to think about missing him with my attack?
Nope. Because you know that, yeah, you're just going to sculpt your spell around him, so... I see big damage in their future.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out which one level to do. I'm going to go 3rd level, just for shoots and giggles.
Alright, so you're just going to do regular. Not a problem. Alright, you had 2 1s in that one. Alright, I will add another, let's see, 4, 5 points. So that would be, let's see here, they all had half, so extra 2 points to each of those that survived that hit. Which will kill Brigand 10. Let me just go through each one of them here. So, you are over there, no hits. You get that. You are far away. You are okay. Give me a second, Boden. Let me make sure I got all these guys taken care of, because you'll probably waste all of them by sneezing.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Alright. Alright, so you're all set, Boden. You can go ahead and do whatever you'd like.
Alright, going to swing at Brigand 4. And if possible, I'd just like to knock him out.
Okay. Would you like to remove your effect as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And second attack.
That was a miss.
I will use a bonus action to use my shield to shove the Archer 19.
Okay.
So that is opposed athletics.
Yep. He gets 1 higher. Got a 21.
All right. Then that's it.
All right. Ariki. Now you can see the fact that all those archers that are in the top right corner are climbing on horses, and they are attempting to escape at this point. They are fleeing for their lives at this point. The only ones that seem to be hanging in there are the ones that are around Boden at the moment.
There was one other thing, actually. I would like to tell my Celestial Warhorse to follow those riders.
Okay.
For up to a mile.
For up to a mile. All right, not a problem.
Okay. Which one do I want to hit? Doesn't matter.
Wah, wah.
All right.
Well, wait. You are hidden, so therefore you have that at advantage. That is a hit.
That is much better.
Much better. Oh dear God. Look at all those dice.
10th level rogue.
Yeah. You shot him in the ear.
Crit.
That's true.
Just
Yeah.
glad it wasn't a crit, because then there would be twice as many dice, and that's a lot of dice.
That is a lot of
And
dice.
bonus action.
Did you think that he needed an earring for something? A little memento from you?
A little bit, a little memento. Yeah. She just pierced his ear on the other side of his head.
And I think that will be the end of my turn.
Excellent. Okay, Agluis, your turn.
Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna try and line up a Ray of Frost shot again.
Okay. Yep, right there. You'll have to sculpt it to go around Boden, but other than that, you should be fine.
Oh shoot! Dang it!
Yeah,
I forgot to add +2 to the.
I don't think you need to add anymore. Why was it an advantage? Probably clicked the wrong button. You probably clicked advantage versus +2. So,
I do push to talk with my control.
Ah.
You want me to redo it?
Yes, please.
I didn't press it that time.
Huh. Oh, because you're invisible. That's why.
I'll take it. I won't complain.
Yeah, I will not complain about that either. Actually, retarget number 4, because you initially actually hit him, because you had hit all 3 of them. So go ahead and do damage to all 3 of them. One of them did not survive.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And then I'm gonna do some more movement. How much movement do I have left, by the way? I'm sorry.
You moved 20, so you got 30 more on your horse. Since you have yet to climb off your horse, you have not come down from your high horse. All right, the brigand, really not liking life right now. He is going to attack. Actually, he is going to step around. He is smart enough to get advantage. And he is going to attack Boden. Hits. If he's going to die, he's going to bring you with him. Awesome. Your damned armor is really annoying me. Okay.
There's a reason it's there.
Yep. You called it. You said, hey, this is the way I want it to work. So, can I do this? He can do this. Alright, so Taharan will move back up. And he's going to try to help. I'm helping. So he targets him. Does nothing. Alright, the riding horses begin to speed away with the archers on them. Of course, the celestial charger is in pursuit. Okay, the brigand over here will attack Boden. Now you know why they say it is the DM dice mod. Boden, it is your turn.
All right, targeting Brigand 1 and doing some attacks.
There's a hit. You still trying to knock him out?
Yes.
Alright, so in that case, that guy will be knocked out. I'll flip his token upside down to indicate he is knocked out.
And would like to move to the other side of this brigand.
Okay.
Actually, let's put it so we're flanking with Taharan.
Awesome. Alright. Ariki, it is your turn.
Why don't we shoot another brigand?
Awesome.
Oh, but it's the last one.
You hit him. And he is straight up dead. Since you are using a piercing weapon, he is straight up... Oops, wrong one. One of them is unconscious. There, so he's unconscious then. Alright. So, I'll just move him there. Since Boden is using a bludgeoning weapon, Boden has the opportunity of saying, hey, I want to knock this guy out instead of killing him. If you're using a piercing or a slashing weapon, well, piercing weapon, you'll never knock somebody out. Slashing weapon, you'll take disadvantage to the attack roll to knock somebody out, because you basically turn it to the flat of the blade to slap him with it. And to answer your question, why a left-handed ice cream scoop? Because you scoop the ice cream with your left hand and eat it with your right.
But that doesn't make any sense. I scoop the ice cream with my left hand and eat it with my left hand.
Okay. Well, let me guess. You scoop it directly out of the ice cream container and put it directly into your mouth.
Of course.
Of course. Alright, so this guy will be stabilized because Taharan understands that he needs to be stabilized, but will not heal him. So you guys are out of initiative rounds. What would you like to do?
So Boden would like to get the direction that the horses are running away in.
Okay. They are going
that to the party.
northeast.
Okay, and Agluis, being invisible, will charge over to see if they're still around or anything along those lines.
Okay, you may
So
go
which
ahead and move over
direction
there.
is it going?
Northeast, top right of the corner. Yep, top
How
right
far?
corner. They are going quite a ways. They'll go long after your invisibility wears off.
And are they going down a road or game trail?
They are eventually meeting up with a road, the same road that you guys were traveling on. They're kind of circumventing around you guys and hitting the road and heading towards Twin Forks.
Okay, I just did this to make sure there weren't any more coming or
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera.
Not a problem. So, lady and gentlemen, you just completed your first combat. Congratulations. So,
Wait, can we set up camp now?
I think camping would probably be appropriate. And while you're doing that, I will go over to our handy dandy party sheet and I will give you guys some experience points.
Next time, can we pick a campsite that isn't already occupied?
Actually, we need to set everybody's experience points before I actually award them. So, but all right. So,
That would
ladies
be
and
helpful.
gentlemen, yeah, it would be. We are roughly 10 minutes away from the end of today's session. Why don't we go ahead and we'll stop here. We'll camp. Because there's the possibility you may have an additional person entering camp before morning, who may be a new adventurer to go on your adventures with you. How does that sound?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Awesome. Alrighty, so ladies and gentlemen who are watching, thank you very much for coming by for this first session of Tales from the Yawning Portal, Dragon Mountain. This will be an available module in PDF and Fantasy Grounds format during the second quarter of 2018 here. So in just a few months this will be available to you. We're just testing it out right now to make sure we got all the bugs and kinks knocked out of it. So for myself, for Susie Q, for all of my players here, I'd like to thank everybody for coming by. If you'd like to possibly take the 4th spot in this, please join my Discord. Otherwise, we will see everybody this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern for White Plume Mountain, where I get to play a character instead of running a game. So I'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye!
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can go ahead and hang out for a second.